Hi guys, this is Mitro, your English tutor. In this lesson, let's practice with several real tasks from Duolingo English test. I tell you, they are really real, authentic, meaning that somebody probably not so long ago was struggling with them, sweating and cursing and blaming the universe for this, let's say, for this not very nice thing. Yeah, but we cannot change for now what we have about Duolingo, and this task, you're going to face this task whether you like it or not. So a lot of guys, a lot of my students consider it to be the most intimidating and challenging task. Because why? Because the main aspect is that fill in the blanks. You have 20 seconds. Here the timer has already, the time has elapsed, but you have 20 seconds. Within these 20 seconds, you have to understand the context, of course. In an ideal scenario, you have to understand each word to draw the overall picture, and then your puzzle will, of course, collect. Yes, but very often I know that your level of English is not sufficient to understand each word, and still you can guess this word. However, if you understand even each word, it does not mean that you will guess this word, because this is stage 2, defining the exact place, the exact placement of this appropriate word into this, and this is a purely vocabulary question. If you know this word, you are lucky, you are happy, you are the winner, you are exuberant. If you don't know, you're, as in boxing they say, you're in trouble. Okay, so let's do now 5 or 6 real tasks. Even there is 1 to 100,000 probability that you may face it when you pass your next real Duolingo. Yes, I tell you, sometimes such instances happen, so listen please attentively. At my private lessons with the students, we always accentuate the importance of, so these, let's say 3 steps, the importance of 2 first steps. The first step is within, let's say, 10 seconds or something, 12 seconds, to look through this sentence and to understand the context, to understand the message, to understand this gestalt, yes it's called. If you understand what it is about, of course it's much easier for you to put here something. If you don't understand, it turns into a lottery with all those negative ramifications to our success. Is the first stage, defining, understand the content. The second stage, defining the part of the language or part of speech, as they say. When I was taught at my university, we call them parts of speech, so it doesn't matter, part of speech or part of language. I mean noun, verb, adjective, adverb, pronoun or preposition, and some other guys. Usually, of course, here you will not have pronouns or prepositions. Usually, I don't know, maybe at some primitive level, if the system understands that you don't know anything, maybe they will give you such a primitive sentence where here just will be they, for example. Yeah, but I didn't face such a thing. So, maybe you will encounter, if no, let's hope you will not encounter, because it will be a very negative sign if you see something like they. It means that the algorithm has defined your level, it has determined that it's very low. In all other cases, you will have here either a noun or a verb or an adjective or an adverb. Okay, 4 choices. It's not necessary that when you're doing this, you realize the title, the official term for this verb, or you understand, yeah? You have to feel which question this word answers, like who or what, or to do what, or what kind of, for example, red, thick, beautiful, yeah? Or how, quickly or fast or exuberantly or something like that. Okay, these are 2 first stages, understanding the context, the second one understanding the part of speech and the part of a sentence preferably, and the third stage is just guessing, choosing among those variants which are stuck in your mind. Okay, so let's guys, your task is to do it faster than I do. This first sentence, I know what it is because I remember that I did it a long time ago. This word, if I was doing these 5 or 6 sentences that we will do now, I'm sure I would make a mistake in this first one, because I just didn't know this word. It's a term, you see? like a term for kitchen utensils, and I don't like it. However, they state that it's like a hard level question, so if you do it easily, congratulations. I think you can think about 130 or 140 for your Duolingo. Okay, so let's go. We read and discuss and do. I heated about 2 tablespoons of oil in a metal ski or sky, several variants of reading, just in case, over medium heat on the stove top. While you're reading, you understand tablespoon, easy word, easy, metal, oil, heat, medium, heat, stove top. So no awful words here for our understanding. So this guy, he made some oil warmer in a metal, and now stage 1 has already been accomplished. Yes, now stage 2, part of speech and part of the sentence. In a metal what? Yes, please use displacement or substitution method, like in a metal book. Makes sense? Makes sense. I mean, grammatically. In a metal running, maybe not. Yes, in a metal beautiful over me. No. So here we have a noun. In a metal something. Then, if you understand that it's about oil, maybe it's culinary oil, I don't know what kind of oil, maybe chemical oil, maybe he was experimented, doesn't matter. So this is some kind of a metal container, kitchen container. So of course we know, for example, pans, frying pans, saucepans, yes, but this guy is a bit different. So now we have approached stage number 3, which is the direct selection of a word. If you know this word, you're lucky. If you don't know this word, you're in trouble. So I know now this word because I remember several months ago I didn't know it and I had to look at the correct answer. So it is skillet. You know, my friends, it's really an unfair question, I think, because I don't know how to explain. No, I have been in this business for 25 plus years about teaching people English. You hear my accent, my pronunciation, maybe my mistakes, and still I possess such a powerful psychological ability to help people to succeed at the test. And I have my own statistics and philosophy and opinion. And so, according to my opinion, this is not nice of Duolingo to put such words in the test, because they're not general, they're not like international, they're not, it's a synonym, yes? So it's a very high level question. It should be a high level question. If you answer this question easily, you must have 140 or even more for your test, because it's mostly a British variant of this flat frying pan or something like that. Let's check. Yeah, skillet, yes, such a flat metal container for frying something. Okay, now let's open a new one and do, you will have 20 seconds to feel the atmosphere of a real test and to try to define the word. Like I will keep silent for 20 seconds and then we will discuss. Okay, let's go on. Now focus and off we go. Okay. So, time is up. A penny or peanut is a landform surrounded by water on 3 sides and connected to the mainland from one side. I hope most of you, the majority of you, have already defined what it is, but if not, I will help you now. Maybe you will have an insight. If it's a vocabulary problem, you understand that an insight will not help because there will be no insight. Okay. As something, you understand, yeah? No, the first stage. What is the topic of this? Landform, surrounded by water, sides, connected, mainland, so on. It's geography, having to do with water, seas, oceans, and the mainland. Mainland is the continent or a huge mass of land, such as Europe, Asia, something like that. So, it's the first side. It's about geography, about some maybe geographical form, because it's a landform. If you understand it, it's already good. The second stage, oh my god, I'm already like tangled in my own speculations. So the second stage is the definition of the part of the sentence and part of speech. So a something is a landform. You agree? Yeah, it makes sense. A book is a landform. Makes sense? Yes. A Arrive is a land form like verb? No. Beautiful is a land form? No. So it's a noun. Okay. Now the third stage, just selecting the proper word. Something is a land form. So what do we remember from geography lessons about the islands, continents, archipelago, something like that? Now we approach the purely technical term. If you know this term, very nice. If not, leave it blank, because I think if you try to fill just randomly these letters, you may come up with a very funny things having to do with this penny and it will be funny, but no avail. So a peninsula, just a second please, it doesn't want to. Peninsula, yeah, peninsula, like a semi-insula, like a semi-island, that it's on three sides. It is surrounded by water, but on one side it's not isolated from the mainland, it's connected to the mainland. For example, it seems to me Italy, yeah? In geography I might complete zero, so Italy is a peninsula, Crimea in Ukraine is a peninsula. You see, so it's not a separate insula island, but okay. Let's check. Yes. So this one is a purely vocabulary question. No grammatical challenges arise while we are doing this. Okay, let's go on. Let's read. Okay, let's read please. The refinery processes crude something, petrol, into various usable products, such as gasoline and diesel. The first stage, the gestalt, yeah, the context. Gasoline, diesel, I think you understand, all of you, yes, those products for cars, and not only cars, products, various usable processes. Look please, it's not processes, yeah, because if you're not experienced, you may think that's processes. No, it's a verb. You see? Why is it a verb? Because if it were a noun, then after the noun we must have verb sooner or later, you see? For example, if it were the refinery processes like must take place or take place, but we don't have a verb. So be attentive please, it's not a verb, it's a noun. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a noun, it's a verb. Processes. It means manipulates, does, transforms something into something, provides some operations or manipulations with something or somebody, processes. Okay, the refinery is a place where they, again, process some metals, ores, those oil and so on. The refinery processes crude something. Crude means usually pure at initial natural stage in nature, crude. Raw, the refinery processes raw something, so it's a noun obviously, into various usable products. So what is processed at the refinery? You now understand everything, and you understand that it's a noun, it's the object of a sentence. So now the third stage is just to remember the noun, yeah. It's petroleum, yeah, petroleum is a substance derived from, extracted from earth, and from this specialists produce gasoline, diesel and benzene and all that jazz. Petroleum, like British Petroleum, a famous company. Yes, again, it's a typical vocabulary question. I think no efforts should be spared in order to guess the structure of this. Like it's a noun, we see it, yes, but we have to guess. On the other hand, if you're confused and you think that processes is a noun and here happens something, if you don't know, you may think that this is a noun, this is a verb, and this is, oh my god. So then you may be in some dire straits. Okay. Okay, so let's read please. The researchers moved quietly to avoid. Even while I'm reading, I understand usually we avoid something. to avoid means to try not to meet, to try to evade, to try not to face or meet some situation or a person or a process. Yes, so to avoid something. After avoid, it's not likely that we meet to avoid to do. No, it's already a big helper here. So to avoid dist, not likely, dist, the sleeping animals, they were studying. I see, animals sleeping, studying, researchers, nothing special. We see it's about biologists who study some animals and they don't want, they move quietly, not loudly, to avoid doing something or to avoid something. Remember please, after avoid we have two options, either a noun, to avoid criticism, or to avoid doing something, to avoid criticizing, a gerund, you see. Yes, somebody may call it a gerund, some may call it participle one, it doesn't matter. So something ending with ing, like to avoid reading, to avoid criticizing, to avoid running, and so on. Two options, a noun or a verbal noun. Let's call it like that. Okay, so what can we do with the sleeping animals? We can wake them up, yes, but it's not wake, obviously, yes. For example, animals are sleeping and we are moving around them. We don't want to, you know, when I first saw it, I thought that firstly it would be distracting, but my mind began, you see, began working on this, and I see clearly that there is no place for G, so it's not distracting. It's not distraction, not distracting. Oh my god, it's okay. What else? Distressing. So maybe we don't want to put the stress on animals. Yes, again, it doesn't match, you see. Distressing, no. Oh my god. Then, luckily, within the last 1 or 2 seconds, I remembered the correct variant. There is one more thing which we can do to a sleeping being, which is to disturb it. So, disturbing. Oh, now it's perfect, yeah? To avoid disturbing the sleeping animals they were studying. Makes sense, makes sense. Perfect, perfect. We check? Yes. So remember, please, the takeaway is after avoid, 99%, of course, not 100, because Duolingo will always present you with some incongruency, with some idiocy, you know, sometimes. The higher you climb in your ambitions, I mean regarding your score, yeah, the higher the probability that they will give you something absolutely out of this world. But this disturbing, distracting, nothing out of this world. So after avoid, you have either a noun or ing. Okay, let's do one more, and that will be it. It's as simple as a pie. Okay, let's read, please. The humane, please be careful, not human but humane, you see, it's not human, it's humane, and it changes a lot. The humane mouse turn allowed them to catch the mice and release them in a field. So nothing intimidating when mouse, allow, catch, mice, release, field. So it means that they were catching mice and then release, let go, let the mice go back into nature. So they didn't kill the mice, so experiment maybe on mice. Okay. Humane, if you know this word, it's very nice. Humane means kind, you know, kind. It's not just human referring to people, it's kind. Because, how is the opposite? Inhumane, no. Unhuman. Okay, something cruel or evil is the opposite of this, and this one is kind. So, the kind mouse, something. Why something? You may be distracted by mouse, misled by mouse, because you may think that, aha, mouse is not an adjective, it's a verb, it's a noun, so here I must have a verb. No, because here is our verb, allowed. We may not have two basic verbs, one after another, at least in the majority of cases. So, if it's a verb, then this mouse can be a noun in the function of an adjective. You see? For example, in the function of answering the question what kind of something, a mouse something, some contraption, yes, like a mouse contraption, a contraption for doing something with mice. So this is a noun. Though we have here a noun, this is one more noun, because this noun determines this noun. Okay, maybe it's a mess in your head, but okay, when you do it, I always tell you, Duolingo, you will not pronounce to yourself these terms, useless terms or something. You have to understand the meaning, the message. Your mind will do the rest. You have to understand basic questions of who, what kind of, when, like where, and so on, how, and that's it. You will be able to, in what manner, in which manner. The humane mouse, something, it's a noun, you see. So if it's something, some device, some instrument, some contraption, allow them to catch the mice. You know that now, you understand that it's a mouse trap. Yeah, probably understood that it's a trap just from the first second, but you understand that there are different guys with different levels, so we cannot disregard people who are only beginning their noble way in the English language. So the humane mouse trap, it means the contraption or the device for catching mice and rats. Mouse trap, allow them to catch the mice, but you see, not to kill them because it's humane, but to release them back into the nature. You know? Yes, very nice. Okay, my friends, you see, we have done how many? Maybe 5, yes, or 6, or various levels, by the way, which is very, very, very nice. The first one, you remember that skillet, it's the most cruel, you know, the cruelest one. I think it's inhumane, because it's term from culinary. I don't like such questions because they don't reflect your general level of English. However, those peninsulas, yes, traps, they're much, much easier. So you can feel your level. If you had some problems with skillet, but you succeeded with the rest of the words, it's okay. It's like a medium, upper medium level. You can think about 120, Duolingo 115, 125, something like that. If you were easy with skillet, you can think about 130. Of course, these are generalities. We cannot predict your level based on only 5 or 6 words from one task. However, I tell you that my observations and statistics and experience and intuition prompt me very often the correct prediction. Okay, my friends, if you need urgent assistance in your preparation, please drop a line to me. Drop me a line. My contact details, I place them always on the screen and also in the description. You can write me an email. Please remember that I take money for this urgent assistance. On the other hand, if you need to increase your score by, let's say, 20 points in 3-4 weeks, it should cost money. It should not be free, because your career is dependent on it. You may lose 1 year minimum of your career or not, so of course. Okay, my friends, and now I'm in the process of recording a video course for your independent preparation, but it will be ready, I hope, just on the eve of the new year or something like that, because 3 or 4 more months I need, because I'm a busy person, and little by little it will include 60 to 70 video lessons, about 40-45 minutes each. It will be about $130, $100, and you will have enough materials there and advices to get ready for Duolingo on your own at home without a tutor. Okay, my friends, I wish you success and see you in our next lessons.